Welcome to Residential Life at Binhamton University and the second of our 3 videos on the sign-up experience for new and transfer students for the fall semester. For this video, we're going to assume that you've already completed the first part of the housing application discussed in our Getting Started video. When the housing portal is live, you'll find the link to log in at reslife.binghamton.edu. Click the login link on the main portal page and then log in with your Binhamton University user ID and password. Click Housing Application and continue for your active housing application. If you haven't already started your application, this will say Apply. The application will open to where you left off. We're going to start with the My Profile step. My Profile is where you get to tell your story to potential roommates. Use the text box to tell prospective roommates a little about yourself and maybe what you're looking for in a roommate. These blurbs are searchable in the portal, so if you mention that you play basketball, your profile will show for someone searching for the word basketball. If you want to make your profile available to other students to see, keep this checkbox checked. Further down the page is the roommate questionnaire. Here you'll just need to answer a few questions about your personal habits. Your selections here will help prospective roommates see how well they match up with you. Be sure to give all the drop-downs a try, and then click Save and Continue. The search for roommates begins here. This is where you'll find all the tools you'll need to find a roommate, if you'd like to choose one for yourself. Remember, selecting a roommate is completely optional. You can just choose a room on your own later in the process, and see who signs in with you. A random roommate is often a lot easier to live with than your best friend. Also remember, if you find yourself on this step shortly after the portal opens, there's a downside to being the early bird. You're not going to find a lot of roommates to choose from in the first few days and maybe even the first couple of weeks in the process. Go ahead and set up your profile. You can always log back in later and search for a roommate when there are more to choose from. Let's talk about definitions for a moment. When we talk about groups, what we're really talking about is roommates. You can form a group with up to 2 other people that you want to share a room with. But when you think about the size of your group, remember that there are very few permanent triples on campus, so you're generally better off forming a 2-person roommate group. Groups can occupy any vacant rooms on campus, but you can't fill an entire suite or a flat with a group, just one of the bedrooms. If you're a transfer student hoping to live in our on-campus apartment communities, something to remember is that although you'll share an apartment with other people, all the bedrooms are singles. So you don't have to make plans for a roommate if you're going to live in apartments. At the bottom of the page, you'll see links for Search for Roommates by Details and Suggest Roommates, as well as the Create Group button. Suggest Roommates gives you a percentage match of eligible roommates based on your roommate preferences. We've got a pretty good match here with both Lee Jordan and Seamus Finnegan. Clicking View Profile lets us see their personal statement and their answers on the roommate questionnaire. If you'd like to know more, you can send a message. This will open up the correspondence window and will let you send a portal message. The portal acts as kind of an intermediary, so you don't have to use your own email address to send messages. Instead, if you send a message to Lee, he'll receive a link in his Binhamton University email account that will take him back to the portal to read his message. He can reply to you the same way. All of your messages show up here in the Messenger pane. In addition to correspondence from other students, the Messenger pane will also catalog your other actions in the portal, such as creating and deleting roommate groups, adding and removing roommates, and so on. The other roommate search tool is Search by Roommate Details. This lets you look for someone with a specific screen name, a keyword in their profile narrative, or their age. You can search for any of these items that you'd like. For example, let's go ahead and look for other students who mention basketball in their profile. Hey, there's Lee Jordan again. I think he might be a good fit. We can send him an invitation to room together by clicking Add to Group. Next, we need to create a name for our group. Once we've done that, we'll see that an invitation has been sent to Lee. In a minute, we'll go and see what this all looks like from his end. Requested roommates will show up on your main roommate request screen so that you can follow their progress of whether they've chosen to accept or not. If you change your mind, you can even cancel your request to Lee before he even responds to it. Let's have a look at what this process looks like from the other end and log in as Lee Jordan, our prospective roommate. In Lee's Suggested Roommate section, we can see the request from Dean Thomas. Hey, that's us! He has the option to accept, decline, and can view your profile if he wants to look at how you've answered the roommate questionnaire. Once he's accepted, he also gains the option to leave the group. If he does, everybody gets an email. Let's switch back to Dean Thomas. Now we can see that Lee Jordan is listed under accepted roommates, but if we change our mind later, he can still be removed from the group. As the group leader, we can also delete the group entirely and start over. Finally, we can even shift the leadership of the group over to Lee and put him in charge. Here's a great tip. The leadership of the group is important because it's the group leader's responsibility to assign the group into a room. When Residential Life sends out the room selection time slots, talk to your group. whoever has the earliest time slot should be made the group leader by the current group leader, and they'll then have the earliest opportunity to sign up for the room. Now, as the current group leader, we have one last very important responsibility before room selection begins. We need to verify the group by clicking the button here. This checks the group for any issues that might crop up. If there's a problem, you'll see an error message. And that's all there is to finding roommates and setting up roommate groups. There are a few more things to keep in mind. The first is that roommates are not guaranteed. Sometimes we just don't have enough open rooms to accommodate all the roommate pairs that come in. The other is that certain requests, such as a learning community, can impact whether you're able to have a roommate. Some learning communities let you pull in a roommate, but others don't. If you're applying to one of these programs, be sure to check with the collegiate professor to see if it will impact you. Later in the process, you'll receive a housing appointment time, we call it a time slot, telling when you can log back into the portal to choose a room. The process is covered in part 3 of the video, Finding a Room. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, and we can't wait to see you here at Bingham University.